Hey guys, Drifter here. After a long break from content, we are finally back. I've been gone for almost 2 months, and one of the most frequent messages I've gotten is something along the lines of, "Hey Drifter, I haven't seen any videos in a while. What have you been up to?" And the short answer is getting my hands back. I'm playing a little bit more Modern Warfare 2 these days, just a game or two a day. Still very rusty on that, and that doesn't fill a lot of time. So then people would ask, if you're not gaming that much, what are you doing with your spare time? And the answer is, I've been exploring music. This is going to be part 3 of a video series on the channel that I started about a year or two ago called Discovering Music in My 30s. I'd highly recommend you check out parts 1 and 2 of that, where I talk about discovering music and then some of the first music I found that I liked. So what I've been doing since the past video is trying to expand my horizons even more. You know, there was a lot of sound-free chill wave and lo-fi and stuff like that. But what I've been trying to do is expand my horizons, my tolerances, so to speak, to try known bands, known genres, new things in music. Music with words, which is a little rare for me, and an interesting transition because I wanted to say I'm about to tell you about some of my favorite music that I've discovered recently, but I lack the language to talk shop on music. I couldn't tell you what beats are or syncopation or what is and isn't good singing. I do not have the education or experience to speak on that, so I will say I can only like what I like. And what I personally like, and you'll hear over and over again throughout this video, is music that perfectly describes an emotion through sound, just some kind of emotion that I understand or have felt, or music that speaks the truth. Every now and then I feel that a song is communicating an abstract idea that is more true than the words behind it. It communicates an idea plus an emotion. So essentially, when I hear people speaking truth, that's what catches my interest. All right, after a very long intro, let's jump right into it. So this is going to be roughly in the order of my discovery of this music, leaving right where we left off with the last video with some of the songs I cut off at the end because I just added them that week. I discovered a European band called Ghost. I guess it's kind of rock music. It's kind of a new metal kind of thing. They are very popular, as to the best of my understanding, and a little bit controversial in that you'll either love them or hate them. And what I found about Ghost is that I really liked 2 of their songs and the rest of them were less impressive to me. So the first one has a very fun music video. It's called Dance Macabre. It is a song about a breakup, essentially, about a guy who's afraid that his girlfriend is going to leave him or partner, and all he wants to do is spend time with her in the moonlight, which really hits home for me because my wife is a night owl, and some of my favorite things that I've ever done with her have been out in the moonlight. And the video behind this is about some people going to a big Hollywood party and they think they're gonna like sneak in and crash it, but it turns out to be like a pagan cult thing. One guy is scared and the other guy, the dorkier guy, kind of finds himself in this new group of people. It's got a little bit of an emo vibe to it. It's also got a little bit of retro wave stuff. They've got kind of 80s style dancers and the dance numbers are impressive. It's the whole thing was kind of fun. And while I think the context of the lyrics themselves are a little bit downbeat because it's about a breakup, the part where he speaks about why he wants this girl or what he wants from her really hits home for me. So for whatever reason, my brain mostly just heard the very hopeful parts. The second thing that they made is another music video called Call Me Little Sunshine. This is probably the most offbeat of all of their works and is about kind of a wholesome demon, like if Mephistopheles was a good guy and he'll help you out. I'm pretty sure that the song, again, this is more on the emo side of things for them, is about not having to be alone, about finding a friend in the darkness, about being not afraid to rely on other people, that loneliness can be a choice. And I think that even though it is a little grim and like demon and ghosty themed, that it's overall relatively wholesome. And I find the visuals on this to be extremely interesting as well. So doing a near complete 180 from that, I want to talk about a little song called Tek It. I think it's from Kafune. This is a fun anime-inspired music video and song about relationships. It's got big Sailor Moon and Naruto vibes, bright colors, it's wholesome, it's funny. The song itself is sort of a love story, and it's about a cat who feels that they are being replaced by a new girlfriend. And in this, the cat imagines themselves as a person equal to the others and demands respect and worship and treatment and all that. And it's kind of a cute thing about a guy meeting a girl and the girl having to get used to the new pet and vice versa. It's very upbeat, very lighthearted, a lot of kind of light sounds. And I generally really liked this song. You'll find that throughout this, I kind of have this weird back and forth yin and yang of sort of dark, grimy, emo, metal-y stuff, and then really wholesome anime things. So we'll have a few more of those, but Tek It was really, really fun. I'd highly encourage you to check it out if you want to hear something wholesome. Moving along from that, I want to talk about Stuck in the Sound is a band that I found. They have about a half a dozen fantastic different music videos. I could almost do a whole video on them. Most of the songs, even the ones that aren't animated, are very catchy too. But the one that I want to talk about here today is the one that I like the best. It's called Brother. This is a song that I would say I genuinely do not understand, but I subjectively feel it is true. I really can't understand half of the words in this song or what they're saying or what they're trying to communicate, but I can sort of hear underneath the words through the sounds that somebody is communicating a true emotion. And the story of this is about falling in love with a space ghost. Various men from around the galaxy are summoned to this space goddess, and there's like a little adventure to go on. The music video I don't think is that interesting, with the exception of the fact that it is mostly symmetric, which it kind of does one thing forwards and then there's a break point and then the same thing backwards on the music video. I think that's very cool. I think that's pretty rare. And the song itself, despite my lack of ability to understand it, is fantastically catchy, and I'd highly encourage you to check it out. Next up, let's talk about Nightclub, which is probably my most listened to band at the moment, or at least at the end of the year when YouTube Music popped up and showed me what I've been listening to most. They said I'd been listening to Nightclub more than anything else. This is a musical duo of a guy who is on the keyboard and a female vocals artist. And I've listened to a lot of their stuff. I think that their average quality of song is really high and interesting, with a few very exceptional ones that we'll talk about here. Of course, with a big discography, there's a few that aren't so amazing, but by and large, they've had the best quality, the most interesting sounds of anything that I've heard recently. And their music videos are also very interesting to me because there's a very clear progression from, respectfully to them on the off chance they see this, very amateur, low budget music videos that aren't very good, up to some really impressive avant-garde, mind-blowing art, which is kind of awesome to see just sort of over time. So most of their more recent music videos are really fun for me to watch, and I didn't seek them out. This is a band that I discovered algorithmically thanks to YouTube Music. I was laying in bed listening to mostly chill wave and retro wave stuff, kind of minding my own business, in between asleep and awake and Dreamland, and then I heard this. I wanna die. The song that was playing was called Die in the Disco. The opening lyrics were very different than anything else I had heard that night. It pulled me back from Dreamland, immediately woke me up. I was full attention. I immediately swapped it back to video mode because I noticed there's a video, and oh my God, the video is kind of a banger too. So Die in the Disco, I think, is very, very catchy. The music video, it's animated. It's a little bit of a simple animation, but it is very fun. It's actually like a retro wave 70s style almost instead of 80s. And I'm pretty sure that the video is about suicide or dying peacefully or dying on your own terms. It's kind of nihilistic in a way, which was how I was feeling at the time, going through some really bad health stuff. So I did understand that desire of just wanting to die peacefully or maybe die doing what you love. But overall, I found that the catchiness and sort of upbeat of the tunes drowned out the sort of negativity of the lyrics for me. And to me, it's oddly a wholesome feeling kind of song, even though it's a little bit grim. I don't quite know how to describe it, but it really, really reinvigorated my mind and woke me up that night, got me thinking about new things. The second thing I wanted to share from Nightclub is a music video called Show It To Me. To the best of my knowledge, this is the highest viewed VR music video on YouTube, somewhere around 60 million views the last time I checked. And the song itself is a lot like the other Nightclub songs. It's kind of the female singer telling you, if you like the fast lane, don't be slow. If you want the girl, take your shot, do your thing. If you think you're a big shot, you better act like it kind of situation. The music video is super cool because they took their theme, they applied it to that, like, you know, that retro wave, you're riding the DeLorean across the planets and the background kind of stuff, but you're there in VR 3D VR, and you can look around and see the hot lady driving you, or the giant demons that go overhead and the words that show up. And it's really like being in one of the other videos that I've seen. I thought it was very impressive. The animation studio Titmouse made it, and still, again, the highest viewed VR music video on YouTube. If nothing else, you should check it out. Next up are two songs that I found very interesting in genres that I don't normally like and don't know what to do with. I found this one song called Fata Morgana from Unlike Pluto. I think this is kind of like a screamo band thing. I get real Nathan Explosion vibes from it sometimes. This is usually the kind of music that I hate. However, I really like the non-angry screaming parts of this song a lot, so much so, in fact, that I listen to it despite the fact that I don't care for the screaming bits. And I think it's got this very interesting kind of folk songy tune to it, where it's kind of telling a story about a sea captain, and there's this metaphor for mirage and illusion being the Fata Morgana that people see out on the oceans. And I thought that was really cool. I have a soft spot for folk songs, which we'll talk about later, but that one I found very, very interesting. Not a lot else from Unlike Pluto, unfortunately. And I found this song from KLOUD called Follow Me, which is kind of house music or dubstep or whatever the loud wub 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 noises in my ears are, which is, again, something I normally hate, but somehow this particular song was not overwhelming. And I found that the singing behind it was great. So great, in fact, that it actually drowned out the more wub-wubby dubstep things that I don't normally like. And I also generally liked the optimistic message of the song. It's about a woman asking for trust, essentially. And I think it was great. I feel that it was very uplifting, and I would recommend you check it out if you're into that kind of genre. And even if you're not, you might find this one more pleasant than others in that genre. Only a handful left, but now it's time to talk about a little band I found called Joywave. These are sort of, I think it's like retro wave for Gen Z. It's like a new retro wave thing, and it's often really positive music. The song that I liked best from them, and this is mostly for visual reasons, is called Obsession. The music video behind Obsession is very fun because all they did is shoot fake trailers and fake intros for like 50 different movies. So constantly while you're hearing this song about obsession, it's just nailing you over and over and over again with these fake movie trailers and titles and credit rolls, and it's honestly very fun. A lot of what Joywave makes is very catchy. It's overall pretty positive, and I've kind of taken to listening to them in general. That's one of the bands I'm kind of like exploring around in, just lending an ear to see what's going on. I find them really nice to fall asleep to for the most part. In the last group here, we have a cluster of 3 or 4 songs that I'm going to kind of put together in a bulk package called Pure Emotion Dreamland. These are songs that, to me, describe the feeling of falling asleep. They describe the feeling of being high out of your mind in a hotel room somewhere, holding on to your partner's hand. These are the kind of songs that make my brain want to slip in and out of the real reality that I think I live in. But reality isn't locally real. That's a totally different discussion for a different physics video. But it's 4 songs I'm going to hit kind of briefly. There is one called Literally Dreamland. I think it's from Eagle-Eyed Tiger, who I discovered initially because they were making retro wave stuff. A lot of songs, honestly, without lyrics, just acoustic things. And this is one of the ones that they added lyrics to, and I think it was an absolute banger. It tells a great and fun story. It's interesting, and it really feels maybe not like falling asleep, but like falling awake. The next in this cluster is called Rifle Spiral. I have no idea how to categorize this song. I should hate it because it's got a lot of like alien wee woo kind of high-pitched noises that should irritate me, but it somehow doesn't. The music video is stop motion. It's about a runaway magical rabbit, and it's a little bit more on the emo side of things. I think, I don't know how to categorize this very well, but the words that ring true to me is, "You were always meant to be a dagger straight to their hearts." I don't know what it is about that phrase or how they said it or the music accompanying it, but it just sounds and feels true, so my brain liked it. The next song is Hands in the Dark by Chromatics. You should really probably, there's like a couple of versions of this one. You should click the one that's got the specific image that you see on screen. Some of the other ones have different vocals or something. This one's a little bit more ethereal, a little bit more like indie kind of thing, and I'm pretty sure it's about reaching out in the middle of the night for sex. I'm pretty sure that's what it's about. And then finally, After Dark by Mr. Kitty. That is one that is, Again, it's a Dreamland song, but it's kind of like before you go to bed. It's kind of like when you're up late at night by yourself, everyone's asleep, maybe you're totally alone, maybe you're working the closing shift in a store, and it's just you and yourself and the darkness. And there's sort of a weird mystery, a weird wonder about that feeling that I've always had, that separation from the rest of the world in those states. And this song describes that very, very well. Near the end of the video, I have another cluster of 3 songs that I could not categorize very well that I'd like to hit quickly that I found interesting. These are music videos as well. Well, some of them are. The first one is Shortchanged Hero. This is just kind of like a little folk song, like the West Texas town of El Paso. There's just something a little bit interesting about it. It sounds a little cowboy western, but maybe in a good way. Something that kind of perks my ears up and seems like people are trying, for lack of a better word. The next one is one I could talk about for a long time, but we'll keep it short. It's called, I think it's called It's Tropical by the Greeks. I just love this music video. I think the song behind it is very catchy. They're just screaming, "You only get what you give away," which is sort of biblically true, and I think karmatically in a lot of experiences I've had in life, the things you get are the things that you're comfortable letting go of. You know, if you love it, it comes back. And the music video behind it is super creative. It's obviously very independent. Somebody hired the neighborhood kids to have Nerf fights. They filmed all of it, and then they added effect layers on top to make it look like these 9-year-old kids are blasting each other, and it's violent and gory, and they're making bombs and drugs. And you can see when they're filming this music video, some of the kids in the background are just smiling and laughing and having the absolute best time playing pretend with Uncle So-and-so that's filming. It's kind of a grim music video, but the song is catchy and you definitely won't forget it. Then finally, I found a song called Anvil by a band named Lorn. And I think it's the only thing that Lorn has made that I liked. The rest of their stuff is a little bit too industrial and oppressive for me. This is the most lighthearted among their songs, even though it's not particularly lighthearted. And the animated music video behind it is very cool. It's very futuristic-y, cyberpunk-y. It's kind of got like a cyber sexual thing going on. I don't even know how we're going to show it. We might have to censor some stuff. It's, you know, sort of like tentacle love, but with audio headphone jacks on the main character. And it just kind of oozes style. I don't know if there's a lot of substance behind it. I'm being a little harsh on Lorn here, but Anvil has all the style. It's perfect for that type of band and for the type of music that they make. The music video is super interesting. It is catching up. This one is, a lot of their stuff, again, too industrial. This one's a little bit lighter, so I can just listen to it without having to see it. Thought it was very cool. So that's kind of what I've been up to. That's not all. That's probably about 2/3 of the music I've been exploring, some of the more interesting stuff, some of the stuff that I've been engaging with the most. And I just wanted to share that with you as another part of this journey. Who knows, maybe a part 4 and part 5 will be coming soon, TM. I don't know for certain, but if I find new things, I'll definitely be sharing them. And in the meantime, I'm going to try to make it my personal goal to make like 1 video a week of some kind. I don't know what it's going to be, but I'm going to try to make some more fun content for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, favorite, and subscribe, or check out Astro Gaming down there in the description. Drifter out.